in the world of crypto. We've been talking about crypto for a long time. I remember you and I had a conversation probably 2 years ago, talked about Bitcoin going to $500,000. You still in the same place?
Yes, we are. In fact, we're a little higher than that in our base case for the year 2030. And in our bull case, much higher.
Investing expert Cathie Wood, whose investing firm Ark Invest just put out their Big Ideas 2023. The purpose of this report to enlighten investors on the long-term impact of innovation. Started in 2017, this annual research report seeks to highlight the technological breakthroughs evolving today and creating the potential for super exponential growth tomorrow. We believe that innovation is taking off now, corroborating our original research and boosting our confidence in Ark's strategy that we're on the right side of history. In this report, Cathie Wood details how Bitcoin can hit 1 million per coin by 2030. And you won't believe what she said about Ethereum. But anyways, listen to how she justifies 1 million per Bitcoin to this skeptical CNBC anchor here.
Bitcoin going to $500,000. You still in the same place?
Yes, we are. In fact, we're a little higher than that in our base case for the year 2030. And in our bull case, much higher. If you look at what has happened in the last year, actually, Sam Bankman-Fried didn't like Bitcoin at all. And he didn't like it because of its decentralization and transparency. And what companies went under, they were the highly centralized, non-transparent, opaque companies. So FTX, Celsius, 3AC, Three Arrows Capital. If you look at what happened to Bitcoin, the network, and Ethereum, the network, they really didn't skip a beat. All transactions were completed. All smart contracts opened and closed. So I think that starting with 0809, which is when Bitcoin really debuted, and even more so after the crypto fallout this past year, the collapse in many companies, this idea of transparency and decentralization is taking hold. And Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two best manifestations of that in the crypto world.
The question is how? How does Bitcoin hit $1 million per coin? What's your reasoning? Cathie Wood, walk us through this. It's interesting how she says that her predictions in the report are actually conservative and dialed down. Pay attention to what she says at the end of this.
This has gotten a lot of attention, as many of your predictions do, that you guys are still looking for $1 million or more in Bitcoin value going out to 2030. As I said, this is a controversial take after the drubbing and then some that we have seen in Bitcoin. Walk me through it here. Like, how do we get from here to there?
Yes, and you can see the building blocks in Big Ideas 2023. The assumptions you'll see are very conservative. In fact, we've dialed them down, from just take institutional managers looking at Bitcoin as a new asset class. And they are. We've seen Coinbase and BlackRock hook up recently. It's because institutional investors want access to this new asset class, which the returns of which, the correlation of the returns are low, which is exactly what they're looking for. Let me just step back and just say, last year was a disaster for crypto generally. However, if you look at the Bitcoin blockchain, it did not skip a beat. No transaction was interrupted. It did what we thought it was going to do. And it is no surprise to us that Sam Bankman-Fried did not like Bitcoin. Why? It's completely decentralized and completely transparent. And he couldn't control it. His firm, FTX, was completely centralized and opaque. So we think that as investors reflect on what happened last year, the failures were those companies that were not decentralized, were not transparent. Bitcoin didn't skip a beat. And if you watch what's going on, especially in emerging markets, there's hyperinflation all over the world as their currencies have fallen apart and as their fiscal and monetary responses to COVID are now proving, in some cases, to be disastrous. Those individuals, those populations, need a fallback, an insurance policy like Bitcoin, as do high net worth individuals who are worried that their wealth will be confiscated. Inflation is confiscation of wealth, but then there's outright confiscation, and I'm sure that there are individuals in the troubled spots of the world, the Russias, the controversies in China, who are looking for that fallback in case something really wrong happens to them in these countries. There are tycoons who understand what their risks are. So we believe that in insurance policies, that Bitcoin is probably the best insurance policy. Just keep that key in your head, and at some point you'll be able to cross a border and reclaim your wealth.
Let's go through it. Bitcoin, a durable network. We believe Bitcoin's long-term opportunity is strengthening. Despite a turbulent year, Bitcoin has not skipped a beat. Its network fundamentals have strengthened, its holder base has become more long-term focused, contagion caused by centralized counterparties has elevated Bitcoin's value properties, decentralization, auditability, transparency. The price of one Bitcoin could exceed 1 million in the next decade. Bitcoin's drawdown in this bear market was the 5th largest in history and the 2nd longest in history, and overall par for the course when it comes to Bitcoin. Despite severe drawdowns, Bitcoin has outperformed every major asset class over longer time horizons. Bitcoin's fundamentals are stronger today than in past drawdowns. Bitcoin has capitulated enough that it has hit levels associated with price troughs in the past. Bitcoin holders are more long-term focused today than at any other point in history. Bitcoin supply held by long-term hodlers, people who don't have a history of selling, there's more than ever. Exchanges have increased transparency in response to the collapse of trust in centralized crypto entities. Bitcoin's hash rate hits all-time highs in 2022, probably again this year. Bitcoin mining is harnessing and containing natural gas emissions. For more on Bitcoin mining, check out this video. Bitcoin mining is good for the environment, 21 reasons why. Institutions are committed to Bitcoin during a bear market, which is the most surprising and thrilling. And you can read about this yourself in the report. Bitcoin is likely to scale into a multi-trillion-dollar market, hitting a price point of $1 million per Bitcoin in the next 7 years, and that's just Bitcoin. So much in this report has to do with crypto. Ethereum, in fact, was mentioned 31 times in this report. DeFi, a promising alternative to centralized intermediaries. As centralized crypto lenders failed, DeFi lending protocols functioned as designed. The Ethereum merge ushered Ethereum into a new era, a deflationary era that issues yield. We're still in the early days of Ethereum's layer 2 network, but Ethereum is beginning to scale, but we're early. Smart contracts are the future. They could facilitate up to $450 billion in annual fees by 2030. Even Morgan Stanley's ex-CEO holds Bitcoin.
50 years from now, I think things will be even more electronic and driven more and more by input from humans into computers on how to trade, how to take risks, and to make sure they don't go over their limits.
You used to own some Bitcoin?
I do.
You still own it now?
Yes. Look, I'm in a company called Current, a young man who started this company. I put money with him. Zoe Cruz, who you know and met before, she runs a fund. I'm invested in her. And then through my family office, we have some outright positions in crypto.
Regular people continue to talk about Bitcoin.
And that's why people are big proponents of Bitcoin, because there's no head. You know, the guy who created it is no longer here. It's much more distributed in that way.
Is he no longer here? Or is he amongst us?
It's probably
Lex?
Elon Musk. Oh,
Is
yeah.
it you? Yeah, you immediately threw your friend Elon under the bus. Interesting.
As one does.
Interesting. As one who's guilty does.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty gutsy move to create something really special and to walk away.
Yeah. It's
really
interesting. It's very interesting. All of it's interesting because having options as to, it's not like our financial system's perfect. Having options and allowing it to evolve and get better. That should be everyone's goal.
And with so many upgrades coming for Ethereum this year, including stakers being able to unstake, this is hugely bullish for the network. Listen to this: when Ethereum lets you unstake, bullish.
The biggest barrier to people staking ETH, and getting rewards from that was the uncertainty of knowing when you could get your funds back. So it was sort of this weird scenario, right? Would you, deposit money in a savings account if the bank said, well, we don't really know when you could, not only can you not withdraw your funds, but we don't even know when you can. So that uncertainty was a massive barrier for entry for most people. So that barrier is now being removed. There's an expectation of more people to start staking.
Get your tickets to NFTLA/Outer Edge March 20th through March 23rd. We'll be there. We'll be on some panels. This is one of my favorite crypto conferences in LA, maybe the best. And to find out why it's so cool, we interviewed the founders. Check it out, the #1 best crypto event in Los Angeles, NFTLA. Get your tickets. Check out this interview to find out more details. It's going to be epic. We'll be there. Get your tickets to Bitcoin 2023, Miami, May 18th through 20th, Miami Beach this year. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. This is the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. Ticket prices continue to increase as we get closer to the event. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. Get your tickets now.